introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Miss Alex Johns.
And what do you do for a living, Ms. Johns?
Well, I don't work right now, but I previously worked as the president of Stilton State University.
Now, where did you go to school?
Well, I went to a few places. I started at Stilton State where I got my bachelor's in '78, and then I went on to get my master's in 1980 at the University of Michigan, and finally I went on to get my PhD at Stanford and graduated in '83.
Did you work previously at universities before becoming the president of Stilton State University?
Yes, I did. I took my first position as a professor at the University of Pittstown following the completion of my PhD. However, I quickly realized that I preferred the administrative side of higher education, so I switched to becoming the dean there in 1993. And then in 1997, I heard about the position at Stilton State.
And when did you become president of Stilton State University?
I applied for the job in 1997, and there was overwhelming support for my retention.
Now, Ms. Johns, why are you here in court today?
I'm here to talk a little bit about the Terry Toledo incident and how my university responded to it.
Now, did you hire Coach Terry Toledo?
No, I did not. He was there when I was hired in '97.
Now, as president of Stilton State University, what did your role entail? What were your responsibilities as president?
Well, there are numerous responsibilities for the president of a university the size of Stilton. But first and foremost, I was responsible for the overall health and well-being of the university. I also acted as a liaison between the students or the general university and the board of directors. In addition, I also handled budget, keeping records for the university, making sure they were accurate, NCA compliance, and I supervised the various departments within our university.
Speaking of the departments within the university, what was your role in supervising the athletic department?
So I would have been their supervisor, as I was for all of the departments within the university.
Did you work in tandem with an athletic director?
In my capacity to supervise the coaches, yes. I would have worked with the athletic department.
Now, turning your attention to specifically today's case,
Yes.
were you aware when you first became president of Stilton State of any criminal behavior on the part of Terry Toledo?
Absolutely not. That would have been, an immediate red flag for me. There was no hint.
And when did you first become aware of his criminal actions?
In 2008, when I was contacted by the Attorney General.
And what did you learn from the Attorney General in 2008?
He told me at that time that Terry Toledo was being investigated for child molestation, and I immediately initiated a side-by-side investigation with the Attorney General within our own internal, according to our university policies.
I'd like to return to that period in time a little bit later, but turning back to the summer of 2000, are you familiar with Mark McClemens?
Yes, I am familiar with Mark.
Who is he?
Well, to be blunt, he's a bit of a disgruntled ex-employee. He had wanted for some time to be the manager of our baseball team. Unfortunately, that just wasn't possible, and it upset him quite a bit.
Was he up for the position of becoming the head coach?
No, we had at one point considered going in a different direction than Terry Toledo, but given his reputation at that time and our university alumni, we were unable to choose a different direction.
So during the summer of 2000, did you have a specific conversation with Mark McClemens?
I did. Mark contacted me in July. Unfortunately, it was the summertime, so I was on vacation. As soon as I returned, I followed up with Mark, and I spoke with him about an incident that occurred on the university property.
What was this incident, to your knowledge?
As far as I know, Mark saw Terry Toledo with a young gentleman in the university dugout, and he was concerned that there could be liability, or that if one of the children had been hurt, that someone could get the wrong impression. So I followed up with Terry Toledo immediately.
And what happened during this follow-up meeting?
When I spoke with Terry, I let him know that he couldn't bring children from the Third Kilometer program onto university property for liability reasons. And at that time, I believed Terry, and that was what I did.
Now, did you contact the police as a result of this incident?
No, at that time I didn't think it was necessary. Unfortunately, I simply thought that this was a Third Kilometer kid being shown the dugout after hours and nothing more, and there was no need to call the police.
So then, between the summer of 2000 when this incident occurred and the winter of 2008 when the Attorney General contacted you, were there any incidents that occurred that would indicate Coach Toledo's criminal behavior?
Absolutely not. There was not a single report in that time.
So when the Attorney General did contact you, what did you do in response to that call?
As I said before, I immediately instituted a side-by-side investigation, and when the Attorney General, it became known that he was going to be indicted, and we immediately fired him.
Now, just one final question, Ms. Johns. Are you a psychologist?
No, I'm not.
Are you familiar with depression issues or the causes of them or repercussions of them?
Absolutely not. As I have my PhD, but it was in Russian and Slavic cyclical cycles.
Moment to confer with co-counsel.
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor. I tender this witness.